A model lesson plan for teaching multiplication to students in grades 1-3. Lesson topic: multiplication. Objectives: students will understand the concept of multiplication as repeated addition. Students will be able to solve simple multiplication problems. Students will use visual aids and manipulatives to demonstrate multiplication. Materials: whiteboard and markers, counters or small objects, for example, blocks, beads, multiplication flashcards, worksheets with multiplication exercises, chart paper for group work. Lesson plan, Class 1. Understanding multiplication 30 minutes, Introduction 10 minutes, Introduce multiplication as repeated addition. Use an example, like 2 groups of 3 apples, to show how multiplication works to x3. Direct instruction 10 minutes, demonstrate multiplication with counters. For instance, show 3 groups of 4 counters each and count the total. Explain the multiplication symbol and how it represents groups of equal size. Guided practice 10 minutes. Have students use counters to create their own multiplication problems. For example, 2 groups of 5 counters walk around to assist and ensure understanding. Solving multiplication problems 30 minutes, Introduction 5 minutes, recap the concept of multiplication and how it relates to repeated addition. Direct instruction 10 minutes, show how to write multiplication sentences, for example, 3-4 equals 12. Explain how to use arrays to visualize multiplication problems. Guided practice 15 minutes, provide worksheets with simple multiplication problems and have students work in pairs to solve them. Use chart paper to create an array for one of the problems and demonstrate solving it. Applying multiplication skills 30 minutes, Introduction 5 minutes, review the key points about multiplication and arrays. Direct instruction 5 minutes, explain a multiplication game or activity, such as a bingo game with multiplication problems or a matching game with multiplication flashcards. Guided practice 10 minutes, play the multiplication game with the class or in small groups, monitor and assist students as needed to reinforce their understanding. Independent practice 10 minutes, distribute worksheets with a mix of multiplication problems and have students complete them independently. Collect worksheets and review for accuracy. Assessment, observe students during group work and games to assess understanding. Review completed worksheets to check for correct application of multiplication concepts. Extension, introduce multiplication story problems that relate to real-life situations. Create a multiplication poster or chart with the class showing different ways to solve multiplication problems. One. Overview. This lesson plan introduces and reinforces the concept of multiplication for students in grades 1-3. 2. Teaching strategies, direct instruction. Students are taught multiplication as repeated addition, guided practice. Students practice using visual aids, manipulatives, and arrays, engaging activities. Interactive games like multiplication bingo reinforce learning. 3. Student engagement, visual aids, counters, flashcards, and chart paper help students visualize multiplication. Hands-on practice. Students create their own multiplication problems and arrays. 4. Assessment, observation. Teacher monitors group work and games to assess understanding. Worksheets. Review of completed worksheets ensures correct application of concepts. 5. Extension activities, real-life application. Multiplication story problems relate concepts to everyday situations. Creative projects. Students create posters or charts to visualize different multiplication methods. 6. Final thoughts. The lesson plan is adaptable to meet the needs of diverse learners and aims to build a solid foundation in multiplication, making the learning process both effective and enjoyable.